The first step in any decision making or problem solving process is defining the issue. And we do this by asking ourselves, what is the problem that we are trying to resolve? So think about this as a foundation of a house. If the foundation of the house is not built correctly, the house is always going to have problems. So defining the issue will make finding the solution that much easier. So in order to define the problem, we ask ourselves this one question: what do we need to resolve? Why is it important to clearly define the problem? Well, we find that a common mistake is to try and solve a problem before it is properly understood. Often, we will solve a problem only to have it reoccur again, and that is because we are tackling the symptom of a problem rather than the root cause of that problem. We find ourselves firefighting. So, how do we go about defining a problem? We do this by writing something called a problem statement. A problem statement is really a single sentence that contains facts about the problem. It's a clear articulation of what that problem is. The statement may address just one issue. You shouldn't use the word and in your problem statement. And if you do find that you have the word and in there, that is an indication that you have two problems which should be separated out and addressed separate. Someone should be able to read your problem statement and know what is going on. Keep it simple. What should be in your problem statement is just that one problem. It should describe the pain that is felt. What is the size of the problem, the magnitude, how often does it occur? We find ourselves asking the questions what, where, when, who. So things that you'll want to consider including in your problem statement or thinking about is it comprehensive? Will somebody be able to read this and know what the problem is? Will my problem statement convince other people that this is a problem worth addressing? Stick to the facts. Be clear, concise, and fact-based. Sometimes at this stage, we don't really know the details. We can only approximate or guess them. And that's okay for now. In a later phase, the measure phase of the DMAIC life cycle, we might decide we need to measure a few things in order to get some facts to bolster our problem statement. So start with what you know, keep it simple, and build on it. Your problem statement is a living, breathing document or statement that you can keep adding to make it as robust as possible. It should not include opinions. It should just state the facts. And, very important, do not try to specify root cause or solution at that stage. We will come to these at later phases in the DMAIC life cycle. So some top tips for success. You should generate the problem statement as a team, not as an individual. And this will make sure that everybody in the room has clarity about what that problem is because they've defined it together and they will resolve it together. And everybody is aligned behind that one problem statement that they have all had an opportunity to input into. Remember to just stay focused on the problem. Don't get drawn into root cause or opinions or solutions at this stage. And remember that the problem statement must describe the consequences of the problem. So thinking about what my problem is, X, Y, Z, and this has resulted in. So what can a problem statement do for us? What are the benefits of it? Well, it creates that single shared view of a problem. We might start off in a workshop setting, asking people to write out individual ideas of what they perceive the problem to be, and then put that all together into one statement, working together as a team. It removes or reduces uncertainty and confusion by putting it together as a team, and this encourages ownership to solve that problem. If a representative from each area or department is present in defining the problem statement, they can take that back to their wider teams and describe what the problem is across the whole team, department, college, etc. It can act as a great communication tool. And this helps us to achieve buy-in and support from others. Remember at the beginning, I said that how do you know a problem is worth addressing? You can do this through a problem statement. This is where you can convince senior stakeholders why this problem is more important to resolve than another problem. It can help avoid unnecessary effort and cost. And what we mean by this is from deploying ineffective solutions. So sometimes if we don't understand that problem in enough detail, we may go off and try and solve it, not realizing that we're solving a symptom of the problem, only for it to reoccur again. And when it does, we then have to ask our staff to go ahead and put more effort into solving the problem and at additional cost. So that's why we're saying it can help avoid that if we're solving the right problem in the first place.